James having broccoli and spinach, maybe with some sweet and sour sauce, if he feels like it. Oh, there's some baked potatoes there too. I'm going to talk about Death in Paradise, and that's season 14. And with his food, he's having a very berry smoothie with a little bit of that. And
that's your own concoction and your own designation to very berry. Hopefully no one else has come up with it.
oh, I'm sure many have it. It wouldn't be that hard to come up with that little
very,
rhyme.
very, very berry.
So, yeah, I put cherries in it because we have lots of sour cherries to harvest, and then I put saskatoons too. Quite a few saskatoons and cherries in there, about half and half. And then a bit of the haskop honey spread and milk, 1% milk. That's what that is. There's no yogurt in that one again. And I don't know, James can comment on season 14 too. He didn't watch the whole thing, but he watched enough to get an idea. So if you've watched Death in Paradise before, it's a BBC production and it is not good. But why has it lasted 14 seasons? Scenery. Oh, beautiful scenery. And many people who would be watching BBC shows would not live where they have that kind of scenery available to them.
Yep.
So it's just a way to kind of go on vacation for an hour when you're watching the show.
Some of them may have come from there.
Yeah. So anyway,
the stats I've run across sort of indicate that 13%, probably now higher now, 13% of the population of Great Britain is European American. No, what is it? African European. It's so confusing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Black.
Yeah, but
Presumably
this is a different place. This is Saint Marie, or Saint Marie. So this isn't Africa.
No, I said African European.
Okay.
So they say African American. I don't know what the buzzword is there. Okay.
Okay.
So a lot come from the Caribbean.
Okay.
And stuff like that.
All right. Well, in any case, you may have noticed there's somebody different on the cover. So, one problem with this show is there was a white guy who was the detective inspector, and although he wasn't terribly bright or anything, he made everyone else in the show look really stupid. In comparison, that not only are these people bad actors, but yeah, they should have found other people to cast in these roles.
There's got to be better.
So they ended up switching the detective inspector with somebody with brown skin. He still has the British accent, and he acts very British. And anyway.
Yeah, the accent sounds Cockney to me.
Okay.
So it's a British accent, I guess.
And he's really not that bad.
An actor?
He's not that bad.
And portrayed as being not that stupid a character either. He solves the mysteries.
He solves the mystery.
And they almost worship him, right? Or at least,
not
the
really.
Woman does?
They don't. I don't think they really care for his personality. They think.
No, they hate that. But they're saying he's going to figure it out, or he's figuring it out.
Yeah, and it's like he's the only one figuring out. Okay, why are these other people getting paid? What do they do? So anyway, really, the worst. Maybe the worst character, but the worst actor for certain in the show is the commissioner.
Oh my God.
He's dreadful.
OMG.
Yeah.
And sometimes people put a particular letter of the alphabet between the O and the M. I'm not going to, but you know what I mean. Oh,
They talk about in the show. They talk about how things are slower in Samari, and it's like the people sure seem slower. What's in the water? I don't know, but anyway, the commissioner. So there was one point in the show where his job was being phased out, and I was like, oh, thank goodness they've decided to get rid of him because
bonus. Four
you
thumbs
gotta.
up.
14 years ago, you should have. And really, they need to. I can see they're sort of trying to build. The very beautiful woman who works in the police station, police house. I don't know what you'd call it there. She's a detective, and there's going to be this attraction between them because they can't stand each other right now, or she can't stand him right now, or whatever, which is just silly.
He's not terribly enamored of her either. She's just kind of there, but can't stand
She's pretty
him.
wallpaper for this show. That's it. They should have hired somebody that was maybe not as good looking but could act.
Please.
But they didn't. They hired her. And so what they need to do is have some sort of, they're going to have a romance, and then kill her off and have him solve the mystery, because she has to go. She's terrible. They did bring somebody in that was a bonus. They did a good job bringing Sebastian in.
Or Seb, as they call him.
Yeah.
Wow, he's awesome.
He's great. So good job with that. Bring in more like him, or just more people who can act.
Have some energy too. I mean,
yeah.
Jesus.
Because, like James says, I talked about, the mysteries. That's kind of an interesting mystery that they wrote or whatever. And James says, yeah, but it takes so long to get there.
Unravel.
Yeah. And I did like the one joke, the new detective inspector, he was saying, okay, like in the first episode, we're ready to make an arrest now. And they're like, so should we gather the suspects? And he's like, what? Why would we do that? And the commissioner's like, we do things differently here. And so that kind of explains the whole why people are gathered around. Like, why would anybody do that? Like,
it's so phony and Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
But it's one thing when you got
But it was nice that they made a joke about it in this, so I like that.
It's one thing when you have, but it's a constant joke. It happens every show.
Yes, it does, yes.
It's one thing when you got to show off little private detective like Hercule Poirot doing it. Police don't do that. They don't have the big expo. They interview people independently.
Yeah.
That's so they can lie to people. All that sort of stuff.
Sure.
Oh, so-and-so is just blowing the whistle on you.
Yeah.
They have. More likely they haven't. But they'll be saying the same. So they'll say that to A. B is blowing the whistle on you. Separate interview room. It could be at the same time. Or in tandem. They'll be saying to B, hey, A is blowing the whistle on you. What? So, just totally made up for the stage or sound stage, whatever you want to call it.
And I like that they have a mystery in here for the new detective, what's his name, inspector, whatever, to solve that keeps him there because he doesn't want to be there. And I like that they made that little twist so that he would want to stay, right? Now there's another twist so that he might want to stay at the end.
It's kind of realistic, even though he wouldn't be wearing that hat, but he finds it too hot. I think people come from the tropics to here, Canada, England would be the same, maybe
they
worse.
Just find it way too cold. Yeah.
But perhaps they kind of get adjusted. Who knows how many generations back his ancestors have been in England.
So, anyway.
The commissioner, I can remember when I was in drama for a little while. Didn't major in it, but I was in a few productions. one time there was a woman, it's a very nice woman, but she was getting a little bit older, and she had these kind of verbal tics, you know. But that's what the commissioner does. It just slows things down.
Mm-hmm.
I remember university
Well,
instructor.
and really that's a problem with the director. We
That's
haven't
it.
mentioned the director is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the director of this one production, he was saying behind her back, I wish she'd cut all that stuff out. He never said anything.
Yeah.
Mainly because she reviewed stuff for the Lethbridge Herald.
Yeah.
Why would he alienate her, right? But he would have said something otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
It was a slow production anyway. It's called The Cherry Orchard, and well, it's Chekhov wasn't interested.
Yeah, but if you slow down something that's already slow.
I know. Yeah. So there were people. There was one woman in it. She was a young woman. There was an older woman who had experience in stage in Lethbridge, and she once did in a stage whisper, kind of like, "I wish that girl would pick up her feet." So she got out there, just dragging her feet around. It was really bad, and of course that slowed things down.
Mm-hmm.
Very big line was, "My dog even eats nuts."
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, so I don't know if you want to talk about this anymore. I really don't have anything else to say. Okay.
This is aimed at, despite the scenery, it's mainly aimed at the 13% or so people come from the Caribbean or whatever.
Definitely.
BBC. What are you doing? You were worse than the CBC. Yeah.
Station.
Publicly funded. I think totally publicly funded.
People watch publicly funded shows with dreadful actors. Mm-hmm. Just dreadful. They don't want to pay for such productions at all. So the BBC might stand to lose all their public funding for shows. Because what's happening, we were talking about Trump, not wanting to shell out public dollars for
public broadcasting system.
Certain things.
I don't know if I've ever had trouble with PBS.
You don't know what's happening with politics in Britain.
They've already had one populist, Boris Johnson, in power, and that got England, Great Britain out of the European Union. He was a flunky for Putin. So don't give populists any ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Trump has been put in power by people who can't stand CBC type of thing, BBC type of thing, even, I guess, some PBS. They cannot stand university professors telling them where to get on and where to get off. And by the way, they'd better keep on paying them a huge fortune in salaries and wages for them to diss working class people in particular, and people who are not people of color.
And another thing I should mention, the new detective inspector in this show obviously has a fairer complexion, and it's not typical features for some. So it would have been better had the writers of the show just wrote him in as mixed race, because he does look mixed race, and why not? I don't understand why people wouldn't do that. That's all I had to say about this. So I'm going to go try to harvest some tomatoes while James is talking about.
It's going to be a bit of a challenge. Pauline is not feeling very well.
No, I'm really not.
And it's become quite a tomato jungle now.
Yes. I'm just going to cover this up so you don't end up with insects in your
There we go.
smoothie.
Extra source of protein.
Well, I guess
See?
that's true.
She's
You
still
might-
on the ball, more on the
Yeah.
ball than I am.
I'm going to take that dirty container on the table to put this tomatoes in as well. I'll be washing them. I may as well wash the container too.
There we go.
So you can go right ahead.
Didn't finish up worthy fights. Leon Panetta. Most of the fights he got involved in were worthy, but he didn't fight enough of them. Now he's saying that under Obama, maybe less under Clinton, that he was saying don't do this. Like I think he was saying don't pull out of Syria on the timetable. Sure enough, Obama did. And the rest is history. I mean, ISIS just went hog wild. Yeah, say Syria and Iraq having kind of a slow day. Iraq. Sure enough, they did, and ISIS went hog wild. Biden made the same mistake in Afghanistan, as I recall. Taliban's now in power there. They actually jumped the gun on the Americans pulling out there. They were so cynical about it. I can't recall. I think Biden was, hey, that ain't fair. Well, newsflash. The Taliban don't fight fair. They're terrorists. They're not just people who supported terrorists in the form of Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden. They're terrorists too. And so people are going around saying, oh, you know, they really represent the locals. No, they don't. The plurality of people, I'm not even sure about that, but the plurality of people of Afghanistan might be Pashtun. I gather there's one ethnic group, maybe even a little bit bigger than them. Well, they've been wreaking the will, not working the will, wreaking the will of the Pakistanis. So the Taliban are the servants, slaves almost as it were, of the Pakistanis. And as I say, the majority of people in Afghanistan are not related to very closely to the Pashtuns. The Hazaras, some people say, are basically Mongols or Turks or something like that. They're located in the middle of Afghanistan for some crazy reason or another. So they'd be very foreign to that place. The Pashtuns, located in the south and the east, speak in Indic language, or Indic languages. And in other words, related to the languages found in Pakistan. Indic languages, who have Indic languages such as Urdu, Punjabi, Sindh, or Sindhi is probably what it's called. The province is called Sindh. I suspect Baluchi is that too. There's an area shared between Iran and Pakistan called Baluchistan. I think it's an Indic language, but it might be Iranian. So many of the, there's two different types of Iranian languages in Afghanistan. There's the Tajik, it's called Dari, but it's related to the Tajik in Tajikistan, very closely apparently. Then you got much of the rest of Afghanistan, where you got various Iranian dialects. So related to Farsi, found in present-day Iran, be the official language of Iran, maybe and then, but definitely not the only language spoken in Iran. Iran is kind of like Iran is presently constituted is kind of like the rump of a, and that's an actual term, I'm not making fun, of some of the older Iranian empires or Persian empires. So there's Turkmen in the north, east. It's not even Indo-European language. You've got Baluchi, as I mentioned before, southeast, and that might be an Indic language. I'm not sure if it's Iranian or Indic. Both those language groups are related. They're both Indo-European, Eastern Indo-European too. Then you've got Arabs. Yeah, there are Arabs in Iran. They're Shia, I gather, generally, but that's off in the southwest. The main oil-producing area in Iran. You've got Kurds in the northwest. I gather the language Kurdish is basically Iranian. They're different. They might be the most native of all. It looks like something like the accepted opinion now of linguists and historians that the Guti or Guti mentioned in ancient Mesopotamian sources. I'm coming from around Lake Oromia or Maya, or however we mispronounce it in English, where Kurds, just the names mispronounced in the Mesopotamian sources, or mistransliterated or whatever. And then you've got well, there'd be other groups that, like there's one group that was located in Elamites, located in the southwest where Arabs are now. It looks as though their language, they've actually got old sources written in it using the cuneiform script, as I recall. There wasn't even a European language, much less a Turkic language. Of course, the Turkic kind of people moved into that area, Soviet Central Asia, a little bit south. Mucho later, folks, mucho later. The Turks originally came from Siberia. Don't believe me? Check it out. They've made it all the way into Europe, and there were one group in the whole wide world, at least the Turks in Turkey. Some Turkic people were eventually conquered by the Russians, and originally they were enslaved by Arab Muslims, and presumably also Persian Muslims, until they decided to join in the fun of taking slaves, plundering, raping, and burning, and all that other stuff. Hopefully you realize I'm trying to be ironic. Maybe I'm only being sarcastic. Anyway, Leon Panetta. Getting down to business with it. So I was mentioning before that yesterday or the day before, I think it was yesterday, was it really worth letting his dad in? By comparison with all the other Italians that were let in. Was it really worth letting his dad in? It's kind of not really exactly a flunky for the Clinton administration and or the Obama administration, but was it really worth letting him in to let in Frank Sinatra's parents? I think Frankie was not born in Italy. He was born in maybe Hoboken, New Jersey or something like that. And Frankie hung around with the mob. How about Dean Martin? I don't know where he was born. He might have been born in Italy. Dino Martin or whatever, Martini, who knows what he was. His name was originally, his parents' names were originally He hung around with the mob. Both of those guys were rewarded with names, I think, on some sort of streets in Las Vegas. There's a reason for that. Las Vegas was, to a large extent, a creation of the mob. Bugsy Siegel, guys like that. I think eventually Johnny Roselli was involved. He was more of an LA kind of mobster, I suppose, but Bugsy Siegel wasn't Italian. He was actually Jewish. He ended up dying in a mob hit. Put a bullet right through one of his eyes. I think that was in Las Vegas as well. Oh well. Lived by the sword, died by the sword. Anyway. Was it really worth it? Bringing in these scumbugs were the ancestors of Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, guys that hung out with mafia types. Their big contribution to American society was starting something like the Italian Anti-Defamation League. So criticize the mafia, and that was defamation. Sound familiar? We're having people in Canada, Palestinians, wanting to, I guess, make what they call Palestinophobia, or phobia about Palestinians, presumably into a crime. There's been an attempt even by Justin Trudeau to make what they call Islamophobia a crime. Phobia is a exaggerated or imagined fear. Anyone who doesn't fear Islam is in La La Land. It's like not fearing Nazism, not fearing communism. Just people.
The deer came through and severely pruned your tomato plants.
Up front,
in the bale row, yeah.
Okay, that's the way it goes. I kind of like deer. I saw one today, you know.
Oh, you did. Maybe that
Yeah, I
was
was
the
looking
one that
back.
ended up pruning.
It wasn't here. It was on our walk.
Mm.
We went on a nice walk today.
I didn't pick very many tomatoes in James's yard. The other ones can wait until tomorrow. I picked quite a few of those pink ones, which I love.
So you're going to show them up close?
I guess I'm going to show the plants back here and then the damage up front. So I've left a lot of tomatoes ripening here. There's some right there, like that one. I could pick him, but he can wait until tomorrow. There's quite a few that can wait until tomorrow, and boy, those sunflowers are tall. It's incredible. But I'm going to go up front and show you the damage from the deer. It's just incredible. But I'm sure you've grown tomatoes before and know all about it. Deer love the leaves. They leave the fruit behind, but along there. And so she must have came up here and then maybe went in a bit or something. I don't know. I have some corn coming to tassel. That'll be nice. And there's some plants pruned right there and more pruned right along here. So yeah, the deer got a little bit of